Hello and welcome to Let's Have a Go. Thank you for joining me for another episode. So the story is this time, I've created a knitting project. I'm wearing it right now. It's this knitted pullover. I'm quite happy with the results actually. However, the thing is with this project, when I look at it, it's quite a plain project, which does work quite well, but it is just all one stitch. There's nothing really that stands out about it. What if I wanted to create a project that maybe had a bit more pop? Well, you could try different types of yarn, different colours of yarn, different types of knit stitch, different edging, or you could try a different technique. Maybe you could try the cable stitch. Now, the cable stitch is a type of technique that creates lots of different types of patterns. There's lots of different variations, there's lots of different shapes and sizes, but they all sort of follow a fundamental pattern. But if you're a knitter or a non-knitter, chances are maybe you're looking at those photos and thinking, well, how do you even do that? How do you create that twisted effect that looks like cables all twisted together? Well, that's what we're going to answer in this video. So in this Let's Improve video, let's have a look at the cable stitch. Cable stitch, when you're first starting out, is a tweak to the standard stockinette stitch, so you can start off as you would a normal project. However, to make the effect really pop, it's generally recommended to knit a contrasting stitch on either side of the cable pattern to add differentiation. Now, this isn't required, but it makes a difference. Trust me, you'll see in a sec what I mean. Here I have 2 sets of purl stitch with 3 knit stitches on the outer side and an even number of 6 knit stitches in the middle for the cabling section. So we'll fast forward a bit and jump into a cable stitch row. See how it makes the middle section stand out by having those contrasting stitches on the edge. So knit the section of stitches up until that middle cabling section. And this is where we see the additional tool that you'll need. So these are the kind of things you would see if someone refers to a cable stitch needle. But these aren't essential. You could use just an extra needle or even a pen or pencil, anything you can hold the stitches on really. To show you that this is the case, I'll be using this mechanical pencil to be able to hold the stitches on. Now we see why you need an even number of stitches for that cabling section, because you split the stitches in half and move half onto the extra holder. Now we make sure to keep the stitches behind what we're about to do, which is to now knit the next half of the stitches as normal. This part can get a bit tricky, everything gets a bit bunched up, but continue on, it will free up. Now move the stitches off of the tool that you've been using as a holder. If you're using a cable stitch needle, well, because they're double-sided, you can usually actually knit directly off them. Here we're just going to transfer them back onto the standard knitting needle. Once all back on, knit the rest of the row as you would usually. Remember the contrasting purl stitches on the edge of the cable stitching. And that's it. Once you've done that row, you've created that twist in the knitting. So all you need to do now is just continue for a number of rows in a standard manner, and this will develop the effect. And then you complete another cable stitch row and repeat that at regular intervals, and that will create this pattern going up the knitting. Well, I hope you found that interesting. As you can see, with just one tool, well, it doesn't even have to be a tool as such. you can create an interesting and intricate pattern on your knitting projects. With this simple technique, you can take your knitting to that extra level. Well, that's all for this episode. Maybe you found this video interesting, maybe you thought it was great, or maybe it just changed your outlook on knitting just that little bit. Well, if it ticked any of those boxes, maybe leave a like or subscribe below. I really would appreciate that. As always, thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Let's Have a Go.